What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're taking a look over here at the Bitcoin price chart. We're also going to be taking a look over there at the XRP price chart as the price has reached up to the top of that range. It's been a little while since we've kind of had like just a general crypto market outlook video where we're looking at like macro, like what's going on there with gold, tying in the stock market, Bitcoin, and the altcoin market. And I get it. We do that a lot over there in markets in the morning every day. But I do recognize that live streams, maybe that time of day, it's not the best for everybody. And so as today is the last day of the week, we're going to have our weekly candle close. It's also the last day of the month. We're going to have our monthly candle close. And it's the last day of the first quarter of 2023. So we're going to have our first quarterly candle close today too. Figured we can take a look and see how has the first quarter treated us so far, and where do we sit currently right now with the market. Merely by staring at the screen while I've been rambling and yapping my mouth, you've probably noticed that I have a green line here as a resistance level above where Bitcoin currently is at right now, which of course was the exact same level that was the support level in 2021. You know, ever since June, I've been arguing that the bottom of the market has already been in. We looked at a plethora of different things, such as the moving averages crossing themselves, what that meant throughout history when that had already occurred in this market. Same goes for the altcoin market. We've shown the big U-turn that has occurred over here on these indicators that are also significant from previous bottoms having already come in past cycles for Bitcoin, such as in 2015 and 16, 2018 and 19, and here we are 2021, 2022. And just each time these happen, hey, you know what, the bottom is in. So I don't think we really even need to spend any more time arguing over that. If we do, well, okay, my bad. There probably still are 12Kers out there. But the nice things that we have seen happen in this market has been that we've been able to clear back through that 200-week moving average, and we cleared back through that 50-week moving average with one foul swoop of a breakthrough. I saw an interesting post over here on Twitter by DB who says the U.S. government sold 9,800 Bitcoins on March 14th and intends to sell a further 41,500 Bitcoin connected to Silk Road in 4 batches over the course of the year. And it shows court filing right in here. On March 14th, the government sold 9,861 Bitcoin. March 14th, how interesting. That would be this day right here. What is funny about that is we can actually turn on the 200-week moving average and see that was a break through the 200-week moving average for the first time, and I guess they attempted to sell it back down below. And that was obviously short-lived, and they completely failed. If that is the case, right? But what do you know? U.S. government says, that's the day we're going to do it. We're going to try to do it as we're trying to make a real stab through the 200-week moving average. Utter failure. Bitcoin cracks through, gets through the 50 and the 200-week on that awesome move right in there. And then you can see we're going to close this monthly candle out here today. And so long as if Bitcoin is capable of just holding itself together through the rest of the evening when the candle closes, we have now regained the 50 month as well at this point. So pretty interesting. It's been a really busy morning for me, a really busy day for me. This is the 4th recording that I have done today. This morning, I was recording the newsletter that I had written up all day yesterday and into late evening. I did publish this. I mentioned that in Markets in the Morning. There's a link in the description to my premium newsletter if you decide you would like to check it out. And while I am actively working on a new course for bcbacker.com, the course with the older content, it's been closed now. Once we get to April, it will have been a year that thing's been closed. However, I still continued to do market updates for that thing, even though there's no subscription, no monthly fee or anything like that. Just kind of one of those things I just kind of kept doing for it. And I do that on the last day of every month. And so today I posted a video over there. That's why this is my 4th recording. Newsletter, Markets in the Morning, bcbacker.com video. Here we are, YouTube video. But one of the things I talked about there is that, you know, in February, it was more of just kind of a washing machine price action that happened in here all month. And then in March, we've had a big move back down. And then we end up hitting what? The 200-day moving average. And then we bounce right off of it. And we crack through this big resistance level right in here, right? This is a resistance level that was a support from back in May of 2022. Then it was a resistance in August of 2022, a resistance here in February. Boom, we got the breakout. Now we're hanging out right here, right? So it's like, sweet, man. All right, great move over there for Bitcoin. But the Same isn't true for the whole market. So there's still a little caution here as you see that the more consolidation can still continue to take place in here as we sit under that one. Because while we did get through all of that, you can look over to the total market cap, and the total market cap of the whole cryptocurrency market still sits at it. It's still right there at that August of 2022 height. Bitcoin is through, total market cap is not through. So while we sit here and celebrate the price action that we've seen over here for Bitcoin, are we actually really experiencing a serious resistance that is coming in right in here that could hold this thing down for a little while? Or, a big fat breakout, right? But I think just acknowledging there's a big resistance right here because it's not only in Bitcoin that we see it, but we see it over here in the total market cap of crypto, that it still resides right there. And then that also brings in the confluence of the other thing we've been talking about, which is XRP. Posted this over here on Twitter on March 21st. It's very rare. Well, I'll really kind of say like more of like a call type thing over there on Twitter, unless I'm like feeling real confident about something. Like with the whole January 12th thing, if I speculate we'll eventually see a $2,500 daily candle on Bitcoin from this range that'll leave bears in disbelief. Well, it took 32 hours, but hey, we did end up getting that. I've posted that I've seen this on my radar. It's something I'm paying attention to, getting to the top of that range, seeing a pullback and then getting there. For those who've been watching the XRP videos, we were looking for a bounce there in that 41 to 42 cent level. That is what we ended up getting right here. It bounced right on 41. And then what do you know? We head straight up to the top of that range and just kind of continues to play out as XRP has played out in previous times like this before, where, you have this entire range that is literally the exact same percentage move as it was. And then the price action behavior is just exactly how it was back then too. So here we go. We're like at the top of this range in here. And it just shows a little bit of confluence of what we're talking about over there with the total market cap and with Bitcoin. Again, like I said, like you can look at all those indicators to see all those things, right? What do? We go down here and we slam into the 200-day moving average. That's great. You look at the monthly indicators, everything's kind of flipped and flopped over. This is what happens whenever the bottoms are already in. So I'm not sitting here screaming, hey, time to panic. It's going to go set new lows. There's way too many things that are telling you, hey, this was a fantastic thing that happened here in the market. We cracked through all these things that we needed to. That's great. But I think what we're kind of seeing from both Bitcoin with this particular level, the total market cap at this particular level, and XRP at this particular level is we have like a confluence between multiple charts to say like there's resistance here. Like there's and not just kind of like real, like just some resistance like you're typically going to have. Like maybe there's like one retracement level that sits right there and that's like an important resistance level. Like, yeah, the 0.236 fib level or something where it's kind of like, it's just a fib. It's not a big deal. It's not like the big ones up in here, right? But it has the markings of like being able to break through here might actually be a big breakout. I don't know if we're ready to do that yet, but I think if we are able to crack through here in this particular zone, that this is actually a real breakout level for Bitcoin and a real breakout level for the total market cap and a real breakout level for XRP. I'm not going to predict here that they're going to do it right now. You have kind of a mix of things here, right? So like I think with XRP, it seems pretty clear. I mean, like it has acted how it has acted for the last couple of years as it has acted before. And like this was a retrace as well. Like this was the, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. And these are the same size things. Like it's not like we're taking it from some random spot and just saying, hey, we're going to apply this fractal because it looks similar from a random spot. No, it was like the same condition, right? It was a retrace and then a reaccumulation, which is a retrace, reaccumulation. So like I'm not super convinced to sit here and say, yep, it's going to break away from that now, right? Like I kind of have to assume it's going to keep doing it because it's done it for like almost next month. It'll be 2 years and 2 years that is following it. But it's just not going to give us that final point. I can't commit to that, to thinking that way. And, if that's what's going on with XRP, does it make sense that, hey, this is the kind of pullback we see over here in the total market cap of crypto? If you recall, my thoughts were along the lines of an ABC pulling out in here for Bitcoin. We did get a big fall. No sea leg emerged, right? It would sure make sense for something like that to emerge there for the total market cap. But there's something that is a little conflicting with that. And that's one reason why I'm talking about saying, like, if the total market cap's able to get through that level it's at right now, that it seems like it's like a breakout level. And it's that, well, we know for XRP it's a breakout level. We can look at that price fractal and say, well, once it got out of there, it was a breakout level. But also looking over here at Ethereum, for those who've been following the discussions we've done over here on Ethereum, that when Ethereum went on its last cycle, there was some interesting price behavior that happened in here, right? And it's that in this cycle, it pretty much mirrored that once again, and that this whole correction has been very similar in size. And so we can kind of like align this to see that, hey, look, we got real close within this thing. If we align this to show the size of Ethereum's last super cycle, and then to take a look at over here at what was this correction looking like, right? That it, initial crash, the attempting at the new high, the two stabs, right? First stab, fail, right? Then the poke, right? First stab, fail, then the poke, right? Then waddling and capitulation, and then working out this whole thing right now. And I'm really just kind of focused on this particular moment in time right in here. Because what we could see is, once we came off those capitulation lows, and then once we came off those capitulation lows, price action has really just acted very similar to these moments, and then working back up, and then where is it getting stalled out at before it goes into massive breakout in here. And it's still just the same thing of a capitulation bottom on the same exact structure, just on a different time frame, and yet occurring from the same spot. So definitely say, for me personally, pretty difficult spot we're in right now to kind of guess where this thing's going to go. Conviction since June has been the bottom is in November, December, loaded up my bags heavy. I still have my bags. I do think this market is going to rip higher, but the concerns are right now of that, like, there's this big resistance that sits right here, right? This is breakout level for XRP based on historical behavior. This is the breakout time period after a massive correction for Ethereum based on historical behavior. This is the massive breakout level for the total market cap of crypto based on the last 9 months of support and resistance. And it appears as though this would be the big breakout level for Bitcoin, as it is a support and resistance level dating all the way back till December of 2020. So this is 2.5 years of support and resistance at this particular level. Even when it broke out, this was the support level. Onward, boom, back to support. Onward, failure, support, and then the break. So I'm not seeing anything in particular that's making me scream, it's going to break out today, it's going to break out tomorrow, or it's going to break out after the quarterly candle closes. But I recognize there's resistance here. There's resistance here for the total market cap. And there's resistance here for XRP, but it appears as though all these levels are like big breakout levels for everything in the market. So I'm cautious underneath resistance, right? You listened to me for the last 9 months, all June through December, right? Hey, people hated me. You're a dingus. It's going to $12,000. It's going to $10,000. I literally got that comment over 1,000 times. I don't get those anymore. I get none of those. But when we come off of these lows like this, we now start facing other challenges. It's like, okay, now we are just battling resistances over and over again. How long is it going to take to get through each one of them? Do I think we're going to get through this resistance for Ethereum? Yes. Do I think we're going to get through this resistance for XRP? Yes. Bitcoin? Yes. Total market cap? Yes. I think people are finally waking up and realizing the support thing that we've talked about literally all year long. All year long. This was a backtest of the previous all-time high, especially for the altcoin market, just as it did during the last one. People are finally seeing it now that prices are up. They're willing to believe it, but during the thick of the moment, they're not willing to believe it. But I just think it's going to be some work. And I think when it happens, like, it's going to be just a big break. And I don't usually say those things unless if I'm seeing something that is saying right now, right now, right now. I don't see that currently of something just on like the shorter term time frames or anything like that is screaming to me, this thing has to break out of here right now. I just don't see it. Maybe something will appear later that maybe we'll say something like that, but I don't see it right now. But I think when that breakout does eventually come, it will be violent. I think it'll be another one of these things again, where it's going to be a violent breakout that eventually comes. But I've been spending the last 2 weeks saying, hey, we're at the top of the resistance level. This is kind of what happens. And so while we're here, it's just, I think it's important to remember this is typically a rejection level, right? Say all the things that we talked about all year long, right? As Bitcoin was starting to work back up to this area, right? As we were working back up in here. I mean, I really spent like a whole month and a half saying, hey, I'm thinking, as we're here that, ABC back down lower is going to happen. Then it kind of plays out a little different, goes down, but not like the ABC. But maybe that is what's coming here for the total market cap of crypto. And so just to kind of, be public about what I'm doing, I'm not making any changes to anything that I own. If this comes along, this is likely where, not investment advice, you do whatever you want, your bags, you're the one responsible for pushing buy and sell. I'll probably go load up on more XRP, man. But I also didn't get caught wrong-footed in here. I wasn't screaming we were going to 12K or going to 10K. I was publicly stating I feel like I'm irresponsibly buying. I'm nauseatingly buying this market right now after the FTX collapse. So I'm not wrong-footed in a position of like not thinking this was going to happen. You know what I mean? So each person has to kind of weigh that out for themselves. But I do think if we get a clear break through this level, it'll be a very, very exciting market. However, I would never in my wildest dreams be thinking about purchasing anything as it sits here right now. And while I'm a mega fan of XRP, I got big old bags of XRP, and I'm a value shopper, man. I always want to get the best deal. You're not going to catch me buying XRP up here at these prices, So I think we have a lot of things to be optimistic for in 2023. And I've repeated that multiple times. I think Ethereum is going to have a good year. I think XRP is going to have a good year. I'm just not convinced that it's ready for it to happen right now, like the Balaji $1 million Bitcoin in the next 90 days. I think we're going to have a good 2023. But good in crypto for the veterans around here knows that means it's like there's like this 3-month period that's epic. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of garbage, And so you have to, make your guess. Is that 3-month period happening right here at this exact moment where we are right now? Or is it just there's still more stuff that's got to happen in this market first before we get ready for it? And so I'm more of in the thoughts we're not in that moment just yet. We might have some working around to do in here, but should we get the break out of this level for the altcoin market, which is, right, or for the total market cap, which is at about 1.2 trillion, I may change my mind. Something like that, I would imagine Ethereum is starting to take off. And if Ethereum is starting to take off, well, I'm going to annoy a lot of people and be even more bullish, So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to ramble in a video and show you all the things that I'm looking at. And my general thoughts on the market are we're at significant resistances that are presented everywhere right now. And it's just time to kind of take caution because we've had a good year so far. The first quarter of the year has been good. Like even for example, right? It's like to make the statement that I think 2023 is going to be good. We can make the argument that the first quarter of the year has been great for XRP. Right? Take into account where the year started at. It started right there. XRP is up 58%. And from that low right there, it's up 77%. But even though it was a good quarter, how compressed was it? It was compressed into 8 days, which is exactly what happened last time. It's compressed into 7 days. So as we go into the weekend, as we close out the quarter, I think that's just kind of where we're at right now. We sit at significant resistance on XRP. I think this is significant resistance for Ethereum, but I also think this is the breakout level for Ethereum. We sit at significant resistance right here for Bitcoin. Should it get through, I do believe that's the breakout level. And the total market cap, exact same story. It's now finally at the top of that range, the one we talked about for Bitcoin during all of January and all of February. And then here we are in March, we cracked through it. So, on my channel, it's always really about managing emotions. It's about like not getting caught up in like making video titles of clickbait, we're going to the moon, and then also not appeasing the masses during fearful times too. And you'd be surprised. It's a little frustrating as a YouTube content creator, hoping to grow your channel. When you are on the right side of things, you actually don't grow as much as if you're on the wrong side, because the people who are on the wrong side are the ones who are always appeasing the masses, and the masses are typically wrong. So bears at the bottom typically grow massive followings, and bulls at the top usually grow massive followings. But if you become bearish at the top, people hate you. If you become bullish at the bottom, people hate you. I'll always stay that way. And then when things get a little bit complicated in scenarios like this, hey man, it's a little bit complicated right here. I think it's pretty clear here for XRP. What does that mean for Bitcoin? What does that mean for Ethereum? What does that mean for the total market cap? I could draw inferences from it to say maybe we all pull back together, but it doesn't change the further out view that I have. That we saw these nice breaks over here for Bitcoin on the weekly time frame and the monthly time frame, and that our indicators, like I screamed for nearly a year, we're looking good. We're looking great. It's just that short-term time stuff right now. We're battling underneath some serious resistances. Once we get through it, then I can kind of lay my guard down. But I just wanted to kind of show you those things that I'm looking at right now. Otherwise, on the macro front, when it comes to like gold and when it comes to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, once again, here we are. We're in this last hour of the week over here for gold, and it just gets pushed right back down below that retracement level once again here on the monthly time frame and on the weekly time frame. And when we were looking at this at markets in the morning, gold was threatening to have the highest monthly close in all of history. And let's see. It still has it to where you could see the highest quarterly close in history coming out of gold. It would have to lose a tremendous amount from here. It would have to lose $33 more right now $34 in order for it to not have the highest quarterly close. I'm pretty sure when we do markets in the morning on Monday, we'll be saying highest quarter ever for gold in all of history. But still, the fight isn't done yet over here with the Dow Jones. The fight is still in there with it as it pulled back down to that 382 retracement and seems to be heading its way back up and getting really a good week. Look how good this week was. Started at 32,260 and now ending the week at 33,120. About 800 to 900 point week here for the Dow Jones. So a pretty good week, not going down without a fight. Still waiting for this to play out. And so for the Bitcoin cheerleaders, this is your friend and gold is your enemy. And that's not based on tribalism. That's not based on anything. That's just based on the historical performance of gold, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and Bitcoin, and who does well and when. And there's certainly an inverse with gold and with the stock market as well, and an inverse with gold and Bitcoin. So cheer against this guy, cheer for this guy. And we'll take a look at how all these things closed out for the quarter when we check back in on Monday. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. And as I like to do on Fridays, and why it was really important for me to put a video out today is, of course, to give you guys a little bit of fluff. This weekend, I do play in another concert. I am in another show, playing the drums. I'm only playing one song this time around. Next time around, I think I'll be playing 3. I really wanted to show you a video of me in the concert last weekend, but I've kind of studied this video pretty closely, and I don't know if some of these people want to be all over the internet. With my last one, I was able to crop it down really well. This one, I've played with it. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it just right the way I want it. So I'll be playing again this weekend, and I'll have my wife take another video and we could show you me playing. And unfortunately, I won't be able to play the sound here because I don't want to get in trouble for playing Green Day on the YouTube channel. But maybe I can post some of it over there on Twitter. Otherwise, that's what's going on with me. I also posted over here on Twitter and at Markets in the Morning this week. Blockchain backer scored himself some Taylor Swift tickets. So it's almost for the memes. It's almost for the LOLs, man, that I got it. Not Taylor Swift fan. But yeah, they weren't cheap. I don't live extravagantly. I've talked about that on Twitter a lot. I drive a vehicle that's like a decade old. I shop at Target. I buy the cool $6 t-shirts by Goodfellow. I have a variety of khaki pants, and I'm either wearing gym shoes or Converse, and I throw on the XRP hat every day. But I don't go out and buy fancy jewelry or try to show off in any way. If there's anything I'm going to spend some money on, it would be an experience. So after talking with my wife about it, she was like, let's do it. And I pulled the trigger pretty fast after she said that. But yeah, that was a big thing. So doing that, still on the fence about whether or not I'm going to consensus. I might be going to consensus. I still haven't decided yet, but I might do it. I need to decide that this weekend. So after this weekend, I'll decide if I'm going to go to consensus or not, which is in Austin, Texas. Otherwise, that's really just kind of what's going on with me outside of just the typical family stuff. It's really just been a lot of drums, getting those Tay-Tay tickets. The fish have been doing great. 13.5 gallon tanks, just chilling. Got all the water parameters nice. Everybody's doing just cool. The little 3-gallon tank is just filled with a bunch of babies because I just fish them out of the 13-gallon tank and put them in there. And all that thing's just loaded with babies right now. And then the big boy tank, the 75-gallon tank, is doing just fine. So I've got a bunch of fish in there, right? I've showed this to you guys last time. There's a lot of fish. There's probably Probably about the same or maybe a little bit less than there was last time because when my brother-in-law came and visited me, I gave him 30 of them because he has a 55-gallon tank. And I was just like, here, man, you want to take 30 fish home with you? And he was like, sure. So all is well in this household over here. I hope that you're doing great. I want to thank you for the continued support. You guys are always showing up to markets in the morning. It's kind of turning into this thing. It's kind of got more of like a community feel to it. There's the regulars who always show up, and it's kind of turning into a fun part of the morning every morning, right? So thanks to all those who continuously show up. There's going to be one day where I'm able to keep this thing at 30 minutes or something like that. But for those who watch it, they all know. It hasn't, I have not achieved that yet, but we'll see. Otherwise, I'll try to get some other footage of me playing the drums this weekend in that show. Maybe I can post it over here on Twitter and then share it on the YouTube next week without any sound. But until Monday, I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. Another good week over here in the cryptocurrency market. And we'll check in on things come next week. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. 4 recordings in one day. I don't think that's my record. It might be close to it. I don't think I've done that in a year or two, though. But anyway, yeah, I posted the newsletter over there this morning. Go check it out. There's a link in the description of this video to my newsletter, my premium newsletter, if you'd like to read about it. It also includes a 24-minute audio recording in there. A hedge against the dollar where I do read the whole thing in case you want to listen to it on your way home from work or something like that. But all right, let's do this thing. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.